On behalf of all the people around the world whose hearts are bleeding, whose eyes are weeping, please open your gates for us and allow us to proceed to besiege Palestine.
They broke through the Israeli blockade with their trucks and ambulances, but it wasn't enough. The siege continued, and so did the suffering. Now the volunteers are back, and this time they're being joined by even more friends from across the world. They have only one objective: to provide the people of Gaza with a lifeline as the walls continue to close in. But it will not be easy, and blood will be spilled as their resolve is tested. The convoy has been on the road for a week and a half, steadily making its way east through Europe. But now the Turkish border lies ahead, signalling Viva Palestina's entry into the Muslim world. As the ambulances and trucks cross no man's land into Turkey, the enthusiasm of their new hosts is immediately apparent.
They are coming from London, Germany, Italy, Spain. So when I see them, I'm really so happy.
For Shaker, originally from Turkey, it's a proud moment.
They haven't seen anything like this before, and well, first of everything, so they are really excited about it.
News that more than 60 Turkish vehicles are to join the convoy as it crosses the country lifts spirits further. The new teams will be coordinated and organised by the Turkish charity IHH, which is already working in the Gaza Strip.
The world can see that the Palestinian people have a friend in the Turkish people, the Turkish civil organizations and the Turkish government. From Istanbul to Damascus to Amman and into Egypt, we must make a mighty wave to break down the wall at Rafah. Okay, people, back to their vehicles, please.
From the border, the convoy heads for Istanbul, where the IHH has organised more vehicles to join the growing fleet. In the excitement, the relatively ordered team structure, which is held together since London, collapses, with the new Turkish vehicles, their drivers, more US convoyers and hundreds of locals joining in.
In fact, we didn't drive as a convoy at that point. We gave up and you just drove behind the person in front, and it was a big old all the way up to Istanbul.
But with the drive punctuated by the sight of well-wishers on the side of the road at almost every major intersection, nobody is too concerned about the lack of order. Turkey's media descends on the centre of Istanbul to catch a glimpse of the convoy.
Our convoy has been picked up as if on a magic carpet here in Turkey, and I believe we will be carried on that magic carpet of support from millions of people through Turkey, Syria, Jordan, Egypt, and inshallah to Gaza on the 27th.
How could this be done to the Palestinian people, this terrible atrocity, this terrible Nakba? We plead with the world, wake up, do for the Palestinian people, for the people of Gaza. Give them all that they require, their medical aid, their food, their freedom, ultimately their total self-respect that they should have rule over the land that is theirs.
As the vehicles park up together in the heart of the city, it's clear that the IHH have pulled together an impressive and diverse group of vehicles and drivers to join Viva Palestina.
Bizim zaten orada bir şubemiz var biliyorsunuz.
We have offices in Gaza so we can send help quickly, but there's an embargo in place and there's an effort to make the world forget about it. People are facing hunger, and as time goes on, Egypt and Israel deepen this embargo. So part of our reason for joining the convoy was simply to draw attention to the blockade.
To break the siege and to give a symbolic gift to them, to show them the solidarity, that they are not alone there.
The convoy's organisers meet with members of the government to secure their support. A number of Turkish parliamentarians will later join the convoy in its final stages and play a crucial role in helping to break the siege. Meanwhile, the convoy drivers set off to tour the capital to highlight the cause and garner further support. But in what has by now almost become a basic tenet of convoy city driving, within minutes everyone is lost.
Everyone was really up for it, and we set out and we hit the traffic in Istanbul, and just everyone got lost. No one knew where they were going, and then you'd see some like 4 other vans in the convoy like parked up down a side street, like looking at maps and stuff like that. Absolute chaos. I think people intuitively knew that everyone was in the same boat and that it just really wasn't working, and actually no, to hell with this idea, we're going to go and look at the big mosque. And so we kind of turned up there, and there was like half of the convoy was there, and everyone was there, totally stopped doing this driving around, raising awareness thing. Everyone was stopped there taking their like tourist pictures of them standing in front of the mosques.
The convoy has snaked its way across Turkey, stopping off in major cities and towns along the way, picking up more vehicles, more drivers, more aid, and making more new friends. But it's time to say goodbye and move on. Today the convoy is to cross into the Arab Republic of Syria on its way south.
It was very orchestrated, and not in a fake way. I think all the feelings were genuine and the support was genuine, but moving through Syria was the same. There was a lot of events and a lot of support given to the convoy in accommodation and food and help in every way again.
What was really nice is when you're in a country like that doesn't have all that corporate influence, the culture is really different. You're not surrounded by adverts for Coke and MTV. You know, it's much more its own place. It has its own character, much more is allowed to kind of blossom and develop, and you really feel that.
The target for the day is to reach Damascus. There the government is providing the entire convoy with accommodation. A generous contribution now that it's grown to around 150 vehicles and several hundred drivers and volunteers. But a stop for prayers on the side of the road also gives the leadership a chance to confer. There's a new challenge to contend with.
With 50 tons, we need trailers.
No, 50 tons is only for milk. He's talking about 100 tons in total.
A number of Syrian charities have gathered more than 100 tons of aid and are pleading with Viva Palestina to carry it to Gaza.
It's a massive donation in good faith. If we can do anything to get it into Gaza, we'll do everything we can.
The problem is that many of the British vehicles are already overloaded. Nonetheless, a solution needs to be found. And it is found later that night as the vehicles pull into Damascus. Some of the new Turkish vans which have just joined the convoy still have some space. And after a lot of reorganising, the new Syrian aid is loaded on board.
They gave us quite a lot of aid, and we were struggling to get aid in our vehicles, and a lot of people went out of the way to make space because everybody was trying to fill their vehicles up with aid to try and take as much as we could.
A day of rest in Damascus is welcomed by everyone. For some, it's a chance to take some time off and explore the city. For others, however, it's time for some essential repairs. Along with the vital medical equipment inside Ambulance F2, there's also some unconventional aid from the city of Brighton in the form of a surfboard for use on Gaza's beaches. But it's taken a few knocks along the way. There's also a surprise for the organisers of the Turkish contingent. Among the passengers in their vehicles, they've found a 71-year-old man who's sneaked on board. His son, who is also on the convoy, had refused to allow him to take part in the journey, fearing for his safety.
He heard from the TVs, not from his own son, that there is a convoy coming from the UK and going to Gaza. So he asked his son if it is possible for him to go along with the convoy. So he said, yes, it is possible, but for me, not for you, because you are an old person. Then he refused. Once he refused, he felt very bad, and he took the passport. He didn't say anything to anyone at home. He left the home and got in a vehicle of any person he didn't know even, saying that I'm traveling with you till the place where you are going. He didn't mention anything else. So in the next city, that is Adana, he appeared before everybody. So nobody could say no to him. So he's along with we added the list later.
Meanwhile, George Galloway is updating the rest of the world on the convoy's progress. Among those in the audience listening are Palestinian families who've sheltered in Syria for many years. They remain unable to return to their homeland, but want to offer their heartfelt thanks and support to the convoy members who are going in their place.
When I heard about the convoy, I came running to help. I want to support this mission in any way I can. I only wish governments would do this too. The convoy represents the feeling of all the people here, and we pray you succeed.
And she's joined by local Syrians, including this young boy who spent his pocket money on practical gifts for his fellow students in Gaza.
I love Palestine. I hope to God to go to Palestine.